So something else I want to talk about in this series is physics and gravity. So it's really incredible with the Unreal game engine that you have access to a fully functioning physics engine that you can not only modify but can completely turn off. So by default, there are no physics on our objects. So you'll notice all of our objects here are floating in space. They're also intersecting with each other in ways that aren't physically impossible, but because our physics system is turned off, it's happening. So to turn this physics system on, we're going to select the static mesh, and we're going to simulate physics. We're going to check that off. By default, it will also enable gravity. So let's try this again. So we're going to hit play, and everything falls to the floor. And it's trying to rotate on that y-axis, but it's just dragging. So let's switch it back to the z. All right, and let's give this another shot. So we have gravity again, they're not floating in space, and then they go back to rotating on the floor. You'll notice there was a bit of collisions. Now the reason for that, so let's turn physics off again, is as I mentioned, some of these objects are intersecting with other ones. And that's physically impossible. So if you turn physics back on and you have this intersection, they're going to collide. And that's where we get this collision happening, where they go flying off. So what we could do is we have, when we're spawning these blueprints, we have this collision handling override, and we can try to adjust location, but don't spawn if still colliding. And that way we won't get any collisions. They'll just simply fall to the ground. Or you could go in the opposite direction. We'll go back to default, and we could spawn them all in the same exact place. And we'll hit play, and then you have this like massive explosion, if that's something you're interested in. Now, just because we have physics on doesn't mean we have to keep gravity enabled. We can simulate physics while disabling gravity. And I'm going to give these their random spots again. So when they collide, it's not going to be this like flying off the side. It's going to be this more gentle floating off into Never Never Land. So let's hit play, and they spin out as they have collided into Never Never Land without ever falling because there's no gravity. And then we just have these slow rotating boxes floating off into space, which is, I think, quite pretty. So we have all these options. This is just scratching the surface with physics and gravity, but I encourage you to try it out, play a little bit with your own blueprints, and have fun.